I'm with head coach Andrew Danylyszyn after tonight's 2-0 victory in the FA Youth Cup over Lincoln United. Andy, a great win, good week for the club. What's your assessment on it all?
No, it's saying to the boys that obviously the teams before, the under-18s, have set a good sort of standard in terms of previous teams getting to the third round proper of the FA Cup and for the Youth Cup, playing West Brom and playing likes of Swindon and Port Vale. So there's a good history at the club. This group, when we first come in, it possibly was said that they want us as good as probably previous group in terms of natural ability. The group though has got an unbelievable application. Sunday night, last night again, we put a training session on. Everyone turned up for the training session. There was working from 5:30 to 9 o'clock on the training ground. And tonight I could see that where the hard work paid off in terms of the organisation. The reports from Boston, Lincoln played Boston in the last round and they beat them. The reports, they hadn't lost in the league, they've won every game Lincoln have, so we knew that they was physically good and they could play. So sort of the homework that we did worked. But the boys, what they're doing at the moment is they're not just finding a way. We've played 4 games now, we've had 3 clean sheets in the FA Youth Cup. We've conceded 1 goal. For me, that shows the application, the desire, the out-run, out-fight of the group, and the players' sort of mental capacity to carry that out. And to a man today, the progression from the first game we were saying to 2-10, if we would have played Notts County our first round, we would have got knocked out. The progression that the boys have made individually and collectively is outstanding. And the credit's got to go to them boys.
In typical fashion, you could hear all around the ground that you're asking them to press back to front to back. Was it a case of you believing Lincoln just couldn't deal with that today?
I believe that sort of like when you go to a football club, you have to implement a philosophy of an identity of how you're going to play. And we've got talented players in the group. We've got some what I call magic dust in the group. There's a few of them who can open up a game at any time. Louis Ball's finish, for example. Tyler Dacre's 1v1. There's more I could go through. But there's got to be a philosophy and a discipline as a group, as a collective, and that's part of our sort of philosophy, our DNA at the club, what we've installed. And in the second half, they come and put some long balls in, we dealt with, but we pressed the ball really high so they couldn't get around our box, and lads put in the hard yards in. But that comes from the fitness and the work rate that they put in at training and the attitude to run in training when we do them. And today they pressed the ball really well, and the organisation around that tactically. And yeah, for the 90th minute, we've seen Louis Ball pressing deep in the half and winning a throw-in high up the pitch with 91 minutes, so they can't get near our goal. So yeah, that's part of the philosophy. It's hard work, and that's why lads going down with cramp and not more. It's paying off for them because we're in the first one.
You've been with the lads a couple of months now since you first came in. Just how far can these go in this year's competition, do you think?
Obviously, it's 1 game at a time. What we'll do is the opposition, obviously the draw will come, and we'll see the opposition we've got and we'll prepare properly. We know that it's a good achievement to get here now. However, sort of like I've told them that the objective was to get to the first round proper. From there, we'll evaluate game by game. And for me, it's about the boys, how far they want to take it in terms of, are they prepared to keep going the extra mile? And also the mindset. Sometimes teams have a mindset when they get somewhere, like they've got a ceiling. For me, it's about not having that ceiling mentally and understanding that it's 11v11. And if you prepare properly and you're prepared to put the hours in on the training ground, because that's where games are ultimately won. We'll take 1 game and they can be competitive in every game they play because of the out-run, out-fight and the discipline that they've got.
I think as a collective, the lads were fantastic, but one standout performer, in particular was Ewan Baines. He got thrown in the deep end, if you like, coming on for Harvey Ridgely, who was injured, I think at 1-0, maybe even 0-0. Just how impressed were you with him? It's not easy coming in that kind of situation. Just how did he perform in your eyes tonight? Do
you know, I'm glad you've mentioned Ewan. The reason I'm glad you've mentioned, because obviously I'm doing the interview, but like there's people behind the scenes like Chet's, well not behind the scenes, but part of what we're doing here in the journey. Two-tone David, and David works with one of the groups on a Saturday. He comes in every day and trains. And when the injury happened, David knows some of the players from that group better than I do. And I said, right back. He goes, Ewan's been doing a job at right back and very good. And I said, okay. And it's about that trust in the staff. And Chet's is sort of detail and understanding the work he's done with Daniel Morledge. So Two-Tone's experience of the group there and understanding of the players there, the whole group, that helped him making that decision. When Harvey came off, I'm panicking because Harvey's done really well. Not panicking, but thinking, who's the natural right back? Ewan's gone on there, he's been very good in the air, he's been very disciplined, his shape was good, his 1v1 defending was good, and at the end he won some vital headers. I was really impressed with him, but I knew in training he could play, because when he's been coming in, he's not on the programme fully, but when he's been coming in, he's sort of attitude and application's good, and he can manage a ball in centre mid, and he's got a bit of what I call grit about him, some hunger. So when he went to the right back today, I thought he was outstanding. And Harvey's been doing really well, but in a different player Ewan is, but we couldn't tell that there was Harvey's came out and Ewan's gone in. So that's great to have the group like that. And you know, the lads are celebrating, the lads who didn't get on, and they're disappointed, but they're celebrating with the group in there. They're celebrating and saying well done to the lads, and that culture of the club is really important. That it's a group thing rather than individual.
Eggy, you can hear all the celebrations behind me. Enjoy tonight, enjoy the week, and thanks for joining me.
Hopefully the first team can go and beat Solihull at the weekend as well.
Fingers crossed.
Make it up brilliant.
Cheers, Eggy.
Cheers, thank you.